Hello and welcome to an unboxing of American Civil War Confederate Infantry by Perry Miniatures. This is one of two reviews I'm going to be looking at because I decided to take the plunge into 28mm American Civil War and see what that would look like. And I've already done reviews on Perry's Napoleonic miniatures, which you can find elsewhere on the net. In this case here, this is going from 1861 to 1865 with 44 figures, as it says on the box. On the back, it gives you an idea of what possible paint schemes you can do with the Confederates and whether they could have the regular forage cap slash kepi compared to the regular hat. They give you a little detail on what the uniforms were like back then, but the reality is that with what you're getting in the box, you should be able to represent the entire Confederate infantry from 1861 to 1865, and that should be really a big deal to be able to do it. But let's go ahead and let's see what we got going. Okay, so we have a number of sprues, and okay, we got the bases here. This is going to be a these bases are made by Renedra in the UK. They are awesome, and they're very useful. I have been putting them to good use, even though I create my own movement trays, which I can show at another time. But again, this is useful. Okay, here I have a command sprue. Let's get these other guys out of the way. So I have a command sprue here where I have an officer, and I have another figure. He could be the standard bearer, the guy who has the flag. And then there's drums with the sticks, the drummer with the sticks as well. So that's one. Here is a second sprue of the same, so I'm assuming it's another command sprue. That's there. And here we go for a regular sprue where you get 5 guys. On the sprue, the detailing is what I expect out of Perry. It's pretty cool. Their Napoleonic was phenomenal in that, and it was a joy to paint them. Now, in this case here, what you may notice is that you have got more rifles than bodies. Well, what's happening is they can give you a choice. They could have your guys marching, or they could have having your guys in some kind of a combat pose. And given how the bodies themselves look like, one could make the argument that you can do either. But what's also nice to have is you have a selection of hats. You can have the regular Confederate hat, but you can also have what's either called the kepi or the forage cap. What's the difference between the kepi and the forage cap? The forage cap was not stiff. It was very much... it was about the cheapest hat you could get your hands on, whereas the kepi, it was more structured in there, and on the top of the kepi you had a wooden top that was covered by fabric. So that's what the difference is with these. So you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprues of these guys for a grand total of 40 men. And of course, you can have them in different positions, which is really nice. But you got a total of 44 guys in here, which is nice. Now, the Perrys also have another box they call it American Civil War Infantry. You get 38 figures to the box. I haven't bought one. But they can either go Union or Confederate within the same box. I decided to go ahead and try a box of each and see what that would look like. Now, true to Perry format standards, these guys also throw in a painting guide. And it also gives you units that there are, formal units. Because, you know, the thing with the Confederate Army, at the beginning of the war, there was a little bit more uniformity in their uniforms. But as the war progressed and things got harder, and finding recruits also was becoming more of a challenge. Sometimes the guys who joined up the fight for the Confederacy, basically their uniform was what was on their back. That was pretty much it. But you also have battle flags as well. Some of them are regimental. So let's see. Like the Army and some of the flags there, they kind of remind me of the French flags in the Napoleonic set, where you have a specific unit and it'll tell you what battles it has been in, because they would add that on. So again, looking at these guys here, you are seeing what are the possible units that you could get in here. I'm just reading from the back here. So I got the Louisiana 1st Regular Infantry Regiment, 1861-1862. One of General Bragg's Westerners at the Battle of Chickamauga in 1863. One of Longstreet's Corps, which looked more like a Yankee by mistake. I think they had to be careful about that. Georgia Volunteer wearing the Georgia pattern jacket. The 2nd Maryland Infantry, 1864. The 6th Florida Infantry, 1861 to 1862. Here, so on this side here, there's the officer. You also have the North Carolina Ordnance. You have your basic infantrymen. Infantrymen in a butternut and glazed waterproofed cap. You have a corporal. So gray, butternut, pretty much just the kind of colors. As far as the bedrolls, they can vary in color because it was whatever they brought with them. So it also depends what part of the American Civil War that you wanted to recreate. I'm the guy that I use black powder rules, and for me, these guys here, I would make a generic unit that can go anywhere from 1861 to 1865 for what I go for. All right, I say this is a pretty good deal. Certainly, I would recommend it if you are interested in 28 millimeter ACW. Okay, take care. God bless you.